The more invisible I become, the more death I have to endure. As Chow Mu and Captain Hai looked at the people reading their letters, Captain Hai said, "I have not seen them smile in a long time." "Master Chow, thank you." Chow Mu said to Captain Hai, "Since you know that one person's strength is not enough to escape Lone City, have you considered having the entire city practice martial arts?" Captain Hai looked back and replied, "I have thought about it, but that is easier said than done. Not to mention, martial arts techniques are not suitable for everyone. Even if they learn them, they would not reach a high level in a short period of time." Chow Mu said, "That is the limitation of ancient martial arts. But I have a modern martial art here called the Sumeru Mountain King Scripture. Everyone can practice it, although it is impossible for everyone to cultivate internal energy in just a month. What the people of this city need is not just an increase in martial strength." As Chow Mu held a flag that said Sumeru Mountain King Scripture, he continued, "They need a boost in morale. They need to believe they can contribute to breaking out of Lone City." Captain Hai exclaimed, "There is such a technique. Please teach us, Master Chow." Chow Mu then spoke to the people. Under the heavy pressure of those inhuman soldiers, martial arts have developed in the shadows for over 40 years. The martial arts of the 9 provinces have progressed rapidly, surpassing the past several hundred years and achieving the modern martial path. Modern martial arts aim to unsteal yin and yang and seize creation, and gather great power into one's body and break through all immortal path techniques with pure physical strength. Immortal path techniques can turn seas to dust and transform 100 miles of land into scorched desert. The modern path explores whether martial arts alone can challenge the immortal path, to subdue immortals through sheer physical might. The Sumeru Mountain King Scripture that I cultivate is a typical example of this modern martial path. Starting today, I will teach it to everyone without reservation," Master Chow declared. "Every day at Chen hour from 7 to 9 in the morning, I will teach at the military camp for 2 hours. Anyone who wants to learn can come. Men, women, old and young, everyone is welcome." Chow Mu said to himself, "From the Sumeru Mountain King Scripture to the Human Tao Scripture, human participation is essential. The path that Hai Wuya entrusted to me starts from here." The people cheered. "He's teaching us such an amazing technique for free. People outside must be so jealous. Let's go, let's go. Train like crazy. We will not stop until we can barely open our eyes every day." An old man added, "I made up my mind to risk my life when I was young. If I die, then I die. It is better than kneeling before those inhuman soldiers to die." And Captain Hai said to himself, "Everyone's fighting spirit has been ignited thanks to him. I should also find a way to repay him." Captain Hai then said, "Master Chow." As Chow Mu looked back at him, "There is a library in the city, built under the supervision of General Li Changge back then. If Master Chow does not mind, you can go to the library and choose a manual." Chow Mu smiled and replied, "There is such a good thing? It would be rude to refuse. Let's go, let's go." Captain Hai nodded and said, "All right. Tonight, when I am done with my work, I will take you there, Master. And night, at the city library." Captain Hai said, "Mr. Chow, feel free to browse the books in this library." Chow Mu said, "This city library. It is almost comparable to the Martial Extreme Society's collection, is it not?" Chow Mu climbed the ladder and said, "This one seems pretty good." He jumped down and added, "This one is also quite good." Captain Hai said, "These are all techniques donated by various masters in the army. You could say the knowledge of 100 schools is gathered here. Among them, the most exquisite are the Military Martial Codex and the Military Spirit Rhino art created by General Li Changge." Chow Mu suddenly stopped and said, "Military Spirit Rhino art?" He asked, "Captain Hai, may I ask, do you know the Iron Maiden?" Captain Hai said, "Old Chow, do you know the general's wife?" Chow Mu blinked. "His wife," he said to himself. "So the Iron Maiden is General Li's wife." "That's right," Hai nodded. "That is why she learned the Military Spirit Rhino art. The Martial Saint Spirit Rhino art originates from it, which is why I could sense the similarity. But it is slightly different." Chow let out a sigh. No wonder she's been guarding the pass for so many years. Captain Hai asked, "Guarding the pass? What pass is Madame guarding?" "The Imperial Court established Engxi Pass." Through the Spirit Rhino art, she sensed that General Li had passed away. She volunteered to guard outside Engxi Pass, gazing at the desert for 20 years. It is unclear whether she is holding on to a shred of hope, waiting for General Li's return, or keeping vigil for him. With tears forming in his eyes, Captain Hai said in a deep voice, "Madam." He cleared his throat and asked, "Master Chow, after searching for so long, have you found a technique you like?" Chow Mu said, There are so many good techniques. Why don't you recommend some? Captain Hai took a book and said, "This military martial codex has numerous martial arts moves, covering battlefield weapon skills like spearmanship, swordsmanship, archery, and battle formation techniques. There's also the military spirit rhino art, which is very mysterious. Master Chow will definitely like it. If you are interested, why not take a look at these two techniques?" Chow Mu replied, "It would be rude to refuse. I'll take these two for now." He paused, holding another book. "By the way, this book I have here, is it specifically about the history of this city?" Captain Hai answered, "That's right. The 9 provinces may have forgotten us, but we can't forget the brothers who died for their country. So, the people and events of these years have been written down inside." Chow Mu said, "Then I'll take this book too. The story of Angxi City should be known by more people." Captain Hai responded, "Old Master Chow is thoughtful." Chow Mu asked, "By the way, has no one really left this city in all these years?" Captain Hai recalled, "About 30 years ago, a child in the city was chosen by the Great Path sect. At that time, everyone thought it was good if even one person could leave, so they agreed to let the Great Path sect take that child away." Chow Mu asked, "What was that child's name?" Captain Hai said, I think it was Gu Jin. At that time, a Taoist named Qing Yi took that child away. That child was also given a Taoist name, I think. It was Daojin." Chow Mu was shocked. He said to himself, "Daojin is from Angxi City. Why did he lead me here? What is his purpose? And why is this lone city trapped here?" "Elsewhere at the Great Path sect," Daoshin said, "going to the 100-mile Great Desert to practice techniques now costs a full 100 spirit stones? I went there not long ago, and it was 50 spirit stones. Isn't this price increasing a bit too fast?" A junior brother replied, "That place won't be usable for much longer. Scarcity makes things valuable. Plus, it's the only place with living humans to practice on. The gains are high, so it's worth the cost." Dao Shun muttered to himself, 100 spirit stones is too expensive. Last time, I only got 6 usable soldier souls. It was a loss. If I go again this time and get the same result, it'll be a huge loss. Suddenly, Dao Zhen appeared. "Is junior brother Dao Shun short on funds?" he asked. Dao Shun said, "Greetings, senior brother Dao Zhen. Have you just returned to the sect?" Dao Zhen nodded. "Yes. I recently obtained a military strategy spell, quite mysterious. I heard junior brother Dao Shun is best at manipulating Dao soldiers, so I'll give it to you." He tossed a bag at Dao Shun. Dao Shun exclaimed, "A military strategy spell? Is this the scattering beans to create soldiers technique? Are you really giving this to me?" Dao Zhen held Dao Shun's hand and said, "Of course. But it's not for free. I want you to enter the 100-mile Great Desert again and kill someone. You should have seen him too. His name is Qiao Shuangsen, a very old mortal. A few days ago, he entered the Great Desert with a realm-breaking talisman." Dao Shun smirked. "Oh, him. Don't worry, senior brother. Once I master this scattering beans to create soldiers technique, I'll go kill him." 1 month later, the Sword Immortal, leaning against a statue, said, "Big brother has been teaching in the military camp every day this month, bringing in unprecedented prosperity to this lone city that hasn't been seen in decades." Chow Mu said, "You know a lot for someone who never leaves home." The Sword Immortal replied, "The Sumeru Mountain King scripture is indeed interesting. It's very useful to the old soldiers in the city, but it is useless to me. Big brother, your foundation is very stable. You have already reached the 5th level, but you only refine your strength. Do you not know the mysteries of spirit refinement?" Chow Mu responded, 3rd level of spirit refinement, sharp intuition, the ability to anticipate the enemy's moves. 2nd level, a powerful mind that can further perceive the surroundings, and memories from childhood to adulthood can be recalled with perfect clarity. 1st level, the mind can manipulate physical objects, similar to the Immortal Path's ability to control objects with mana. And you've reached at least the 2nd level. You know everything in the city without leaving your home. You use your mind to observe daily. On the surface, you don't care about anything, but in reality, you're concerned about everything. Am I right?" Sword Immortal silently listened. Chow Mu said, "Since your mind's eye can see everything, I have a question for you." Sword Immortal shook his head and said, "I don't know." Chow Mu sweated and asked, "That day on the battlefield, I saw souls heading towards a mountain peak. Do you know what's there?" Sword Immortal shook his head again and said, "I don't know." Chow Mu said to himself, "He's upset because I called him out." Sword Immortal said, coughing, "If you want to fight those relying on inhuman soldiers, strength refinement isn't enough. The sword technique you traded from me that day, have you understood any of it?" Chow Mu thought, "He's concerned again. Why are you acting so tsundere at your age? A system notification appeared. Aim to heaven slaying sword bond and loading. Xiao Mu said, no, your technique is quite difficult. Then he thought to himself, this sword technique is still loading? Am I out of skill points? Suddenly, a horn sounded. Xiao Mu stood up and said, it's the battle horn. Those soldiers are attacking. He turned to Sword Immortal. I'll go on ahead. Xiao Mu jumped away, and Sword Immortal became serious. On at the battlefield. Captain Hai shouted, let these inhuman soldiers witness our modern martial arts. Come here, you foul being. Your grandpa has been waiting for you here for a long time. A shadow appeared in the distance from the smoke. Captain Hai broke into a sweat and said, that's a monster? As the ground shook with each step it made, the monster towered over them. A soldier asked, what should we do now? Captain Hai said, what's there to fear? If they've changed, then so have we. We're no longer who we were before. Soldiers, think of your families outside. Attack! Captain Hai led the charge with his men. The monster prepared to strike. Captain Hai stabbed the monster's belly. The monster slapped him, sending him flying. Oh! The monster groaned in pain. Master Lu appeared and caught Captain Hai mid-air. Captain Hai, I'm here. I'll help you. Captain Hai said, Master Lu, this giant is much sturdier than those inhuman soldiers. Be careful. The monster struck all of them. Captain Hai shouted, these are bean veins? What kind of spell is this? As the others flew away groaning, ah. The monster rampaged through the soldiers. Captain Hai said, the old generals in the army used to say these inhumans are playing with us like cats and mice by besieging the city instead of killing us. It seems that it was true. If such a monster had appeared earlier, how could we have held out until today? The monster kept attacking. A soldier groaned in pain. Ugh. Captain Hai caught him and said, be careful. The soldier asked, Captain Hai, what is this monster? We don't stand a chance against it. Captain Hai raised his spear and said, if the city falls today, we'll all die. The soldier shouted, that's right. Let's fight to the death. Kill! Kill! The monster looked at Captain Hai with its red eyes. Captain Hai muttered, General Lai. Vines surrounded him. Captain Hai began to sweat in fear and said, this subordinate is incompetent. Suddenly, a huge spear pierced the air. It cut through the monster's vines like butter. The spear fell to the ground. Xiao Mu landed, stepping on it. He said, young man, don't be in such a hurry to die. Let this old man go first. Captain Hai smiled and said, Master Chow. Thank you so much for watching. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to help me grow my channel. Your support means the world to me. Don't forget to leave a comment below. I love hearing from you. Let's keep the conversation going and get those analytics buzzing. Until next time, take care.